Buona sera, I'm Carl and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my YouTube channel, then greetings and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I'm trying to flatten some cards right now, so I'm missing some stuff on my shelf for the people that usually watch my videos. I still have those little boxes from my last video with Julia. But yeah, I did an Instagram poll and I asked you guys some video ideas, and one of my friends commented that I should do a beginner's tutorial or like misconceptions and stuff like that about Wicca, because I'm Wiccan Hellenist for the ones that didn't know. So I thought, why not make a video about what people get wrong about Wicca, what it actually is and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to make this video as straight as possible, and yeah, without further ado, let's get right to the video. Before I start off this video, I just want to mention that I am not a professional in whatsoever way. I just practice the craft personally, so I kind of have experience with that. I'm not a historian, I'm not nothing, so like, you know, I'm just giving my personal experience with Wicca and stuff like that, and I did double check on the internet to Google some facts and to confirm some facts I already had to make sure that they're accurate and things like that, because, you know, some other people might have other things to say and I might have gotten some things wrong. So if I do say something incorrect inside this video, or I said something wrong, or overall there's like missing a fact or stuff like that, make sure to just comment down below, because also I'm still learning also, and I would love to hear your opinion and things like that, because we're all humans and we all make mistakes, and for all I know I could make a mistake inside this video, so I just want to mention that in advance. And yeah, without further ado, let's get actually to the video. In movies, witches are portrayed as evil people and that eat children and stuff. But let me make one thing clear before I start off this video. Wicca is not black magic, and voodoo is not even black magic. There's even a law that states that anything you do in witchcraft returns to you 3 times. It's also known as the threefolds law in Wicca, so I just want to pass that off before I start off this video. Wicca is not about like evil arts and stuff like that. That's called black magic, and for the ones that didn't know, like I just said, voodoo, black magic are not the same thing, and Wicca is not black magic. And yeah. The term witch is unisex, and that's a very big misconception about Wicca, and it's like the word witch. I hear some people say that males that practice like witchcraft are known as wizards, warlocks and stuff, but in Wicca at least it's called witch for any practitioner of Wicca. So like, no matter of your gender, if you're a girl, you're a guy, non-binary, whatever, it's a witch. And that's just how it is. Like, sometimes I tell people, oh, I'm Wiccan, I'm a witch, and people say, no, you're a wizard, because that's what guys are called. No, in Wicca, a witch is any gender. But yeah. My neck might be kind of red because I scratch sometimes when I'm anxious. But basically, I'm a Wiccan Hellenist, meaning I believe in the Greek gods and I do Wicca. So I've been doing Wicca for about 3 years now, and I've been Hellenist for almost 2 years now. So in Wicca, we have the goddess and the horned god, so basically the triple goddess and the horned god. In Wicca, it's the only religion out there that has an equal representation for both male and female divine energy. So that means, for example, in Christianity, there's one god, it's a male, there's one like energy kind of. Basically, some people believe that there aren't a being but representation of all gods and goddesses out there. The only religion not presented in Wicca is Christianity. And why is that? Because it says that pagans or Wiccans will burn in some sort of river for eternity. I don't know what that means. But basically the truth is, unlike like pagans, Wiccans, and stuff like that, Christianity claims there is only one God and that should be worshipped and not sacrificed by proper belief. And what did I mean exactly by like equal divine energy? So let me explain. Basically, some people believe that like the horned god and the triple goddess are actually like real gods, and they're like being like, you know, gods. And other people believe that there are just representation of equal energy, so meaning that like female and male energy are equal in the universe. Personally, I believe that like the horned god and the triple goddess are representation of equal male and female energy, because like I said, I'm Hellenist, Greek. So what does that mean is that I believe in Greek gods and goddesses. So if I worship, for example, to the goddess, I'm worshiping to all goddesses. But when I do Wicca, I sometimes worship, for example, to Aphrodite when I refer to the goddess. I could worship to Hera if I'm like referring to the goddess, if I'm referring to the god. Like, you guys get the point, right? I could like you can, it kind of depends on who you're asking, because in Wicca, it's a very big breach, meaning that any religion except for Christianity can be included. For example, you could have Norse gods, you could have Hindu gods, anything, apart from Christian gods, because there's only one God, right? And it's also the only one that's not included in. So you guys get the point, right? Kind of. So yeah. I did mention any god, but I'm not necessarily sure if it's any religion. What I personally think it could mean is that it's like religions that have multiple gods rather than one god. Like Christianity was an example because it says like Wiccans and pagans, you know, it's not, they don't match together. But like if you were to take like Hindu and like Greek and a lot more Norse and stuff like that, we have multiple gods. Well, in Greek at least we have multiple gods. So any religion, I guess, that has multiple gods could be like included with Wicca. But yeah, Wicca is like an attachment. You can have anything you want. Also, you could even not have a religion or not believe in a god or a goddess and still be Wiccan. And I'll explain that a bit later, but yeah. And now for the important question, why is all magic like generalized under evil arts and black magic? The simple answer to that is Christianity. I'll explain a bit more later, but for now that's all you need to know. In Wicca, there is no hell or devil, unlike the Abrahamic religions of Christianity. Islam and Judaism, like Wicca, does not have that concept of hell. While it is true that Gerald Gardner, who is widely regarded as the father of modern Wicca, even some people believe that he created Wicca, mentions hell in his 13 Laws writing, the majority of Wiccans do not believe in a notion of hell. The corollary is that a lack of belief in the devil and stuff like that. Wicca is a belief system rooted in personal responsibility. Your choices or lack of choices are solely your own. There are no unseen malicious forces at work when you choose to do something bad. Like there is the threefold law, but you know, I mentioned that in the beginning. Christianity often uses the belief in the devil to explain away unfavorable behavior the devil made me do it, for example. However, Wiccans understand that good and bad exist in this universe, but there's no evil force at work with relation to the bad in the world. It's just part of the balance of the universal energies. Something else that I want to explain, a very, 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 very common misconception about Wicca is that, or like magic in general, is that when you do a spell, you're making something happen. Or when you do a love spell, you're making someone fall in love with you. That's not how it works. When you do a love spell, let me explain it generally, like as simple as I can. When you do a love spell, you're just influencing the universe to make it happen quickly. You're not making someone fall in love with you, you're just finding that person more fast. Basically, in Wicca, we believe that when you do a spell and things like that, you're just influencing the behavior of space and time to work in your favor. Also, I mentioned earlier how, like, when you do Wicca, you work with the elements and things like that. So I'm going to explain that after a few seconds because I forgot to mention something. For example, this is pink quartz, so it has like beliefs to be related to love magic and stuff like that. I have a lot inside my Wiccan shelf, which I built yesterday and stuff like that. But it's not used to like necessarily be used for love, first of all, and it doesn't make someone fall in love with you. That's black magic. So that's another category. That's black magic. But yeah, let me explain now for the elements. I said that like 5 times. I was going to explain it, or maybe 2 or maybe 3. I don't know. Basically, in Wicca, like I said, not all people believe in gods and goddesses. The simple answer is that Wicca does not believe in the supernatural. I personally believe in the supernatural, but Wicca isn't based on a supernatural being or a supernatural concept. In Wicca, we believe that the elements are at work for most of our spells, and we ask like the elements to help us during our like spells and things like that. In Wicca, there is green magic, which is Wicca and things like that, so it's generally like the elements and things like that. I was going to include like blue magic and things like that, but then I thought about it, and blue magic is basically like water magic when I googled it, but like I think that's part of green magic because that's like elements. Then there's black magic, which is like witchcraft that some people think of, like it's like dark arts and things like that, not voodoo, but technically you could include voodoo, but it's not. Voodoo is not black magic. Voodoo is from an ancient like practice in Africa. It's not black magic. Then you have white magic, which is also Wicca. It's about healing, helping others, and generally is like associated with good, light, and things like that, so it's like a good type of magic. Then you have red magic, which is it's a lot of magic, but in the sense of like in bed, if you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And yeah, and basically a common other misconception is the pentacle and the pentagram. Let me get this clear. They're not the same. Technically, they look pretty similar, but they're not the same. Basically, this is a pentagram, you know, like the star symbol thing. A pentacle is like the star symbol with a circle around it. I know, very familiar or similar, whatever. But they aren't, because they both have different properties. When you do a spell and a ritual, sometimes you want to use a pentagram, sometimes you want to use a pentacle. It depends what you want to do, you know? But yeah. For example, this is my Book of Shadows. I shouldn't be showing this on camera. Well, everyone has a different Book of Shadows, but I'm not going to show what's inside because that's personal. But see, this is a pentacle, for example. The pentagram will be just the star by itself, and the pentacle is with the circle. So yeah, and this is vegan leather because I do not purchase leather. I'm pescatarian, but I don't purchase leather. But yeah. I'm going to explain this as quickly as I can because I want to make this video not too long, but I'm going to explain why I said that black magic is generalized under all magic, including Wicca, because of the lack of knowledge back in like the 60s, 70s, you know, 80s, like the witch hunts type of time. Basically, people were new to the concept of witchcraft, and a lot of people believed in those old tales of like Hansel and Gretel and things like that. The truth is, I did a whole entire video about Disney stories and their real like stuff like that. It should be over here just about now. But basically, the thing is that black magic was generally a concept used by many people, so like the dark arts and things like that. And when someone saw or like heard of a person doing magic, in their mind they referred to like, oh, that's magic, that's what they're doing. Magic is associated with bad, but that's not what it is. It's just like generally what people expected from magic back then. They thought that all magic generally was bad, even though most magic is about healing and being nice and giving back to others and stuff like that. Also, something else is that Harry Potter is not magic. I'm so sorry, but Harry Potter is not Wicca. Not whatsoever. That's not Wicca. Like when people say like, oh, is it like, oh, can you make like something float when you do Wicca? No, I said in Wicca we don't like necessarily believe in the supernatural and stuff. I do, but you know, so basically like if you have your wands and stuff like that, like for example, I have my wand right here. Is it like to make stuff go Wingardium Leviosa? No. Basically, wands are mostly only used for casting protection circles and things like that. They're not actually used for like making a spell generally, because basically wands don't hold power. They channelize your power and your energies, and you can't necessarily do spells with them generally. Mostly they're just used for protection circles and things like that. So like Harry Potter magic is not Wicca, so like when you do a spell you shouldn't expect something to levitate, for example, you know. But yeah, now let's get to the last fact. So I was also going to explain what is a shadow book, but I'm going to do that as like baby steps as I can. Okay, my wand is made of metal. It's fine, everybody. But basically, this is a book of shadows, like I just showed it. Basically, a book of shadows is a personal journal to write down your spells and your journey along Wicca. So basically, inside your book of shadows, you could have, it's a journal before like your path along Wicca and like spells you've done and things like that. So I don't really want to show like on camera what's inside because that's very personal. I'm not supposed to show what's inside, but basically I just wanted to show an example and stuff like that. But basically it's mostly just a journal to write down your spells and your personal journey along Wicca. And yeah. I said the other one will be the last fact, but this one is. Witches really do use brooms. Wiccans do use brooms, but not usually for flying. We don't use it for flying. A broom, also known as a besom, is a tool used in Wiccan rituals to cleanse a space of any negative energies. The broom is used to sweep the energy out of the ritual space, thus creating an energetically clean area within to which to work. The broom generally never touches the floor, not like an actual broom. It is instead used to sweep a few inches off the ground, so inches, you know, like I don't know how much it is in centimeters, but they're used to basically cleanse energy and not a physical space. There are other ways to clean like the energy in a particular space, and thus not every witch uses a broom to clean energy. I don't use a broom. Like, I don't use the broom. But I do sometimes use else. Like, I don't know what I can give. For example, when I do tarot readings, I don't use it. I guess it's only when I do spells I kind of like do an incantations, kind of like I have my candles and stuff like that, and then I have my wand and I basically disclose the ritual, but I don't actually like cleanse the space, which I guess I should, but I don't usually do that. But anyways, I'm so sorry guys, this video was longer than I expected, but I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. We're almost at 100 guys. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I just said that. But yeah, bye guys.